Wage war with yourself.
You're real chatty for a Klingon, you know that?
Damn. And just when I thought Star Trek Lower Decks couldn't be any better, it goes and fixes the Klingons. Let's just get into it.
Well, I guess one of us will be dead soon anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I say.
This is going to be a pretty short video compared to what I usually do, and I know that's saying something. But I recently was looking around YouTube and found this specific clip from Lower Decks. There's actually a lot to the episode, beyond it proving me right in every respect to Mariner. We're not going to focus on all of that though, we're going to look at this specific Klingon aspect. I think most all of us would agree that the Klingons are probably one of the more inconsistent species written for all of Trek fandom. In the original television series, they were simply mustache-twirling villains, a foil to the Federation. However, all of that began to change in the movies. It's just a shame in the legacy era of TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise, they would go in and out of greatness and basically have an identity crisis. You see, the problem with the Klingons is that they have the ability to be a great culture. They can be diverse while still being a villain, or even a hero. Discovery never understood that. When I think of the Klingons, at least when I think of the good writing for the Klingons, I think of a species that actually embraces honor and courage. People confuse that with combat, and they are different. In the original series, the Klingons simply wanted to kill so that they could kill. In Discovery, they were effectively the same thing, only now they ate their own enemies and they voted for Trump. And apparently the Terrans did too, and it's just, ugh. Season 1 and 2 of Discovery is just lazy writing, but anyway. What I love about Lower Decks is that it brings things back to consistency. Yeah, it's a cartoon with jokes, but it also embraces the spirit of Trek. And if you don't think that, I'm willing to bet most of you likely haven't seen it, and you're the one that's paying the price for that. But share the spirit of Trek it does, and that can be observed in just one scene. Just one. And it's the one I'm about to show you. To be fair, there are spoilers here for those who care. You'll get crucial information about Mariner that's built up over several seasons. It's basically the culmination of her character. And there are some surprises there as well. So if you don't want to watch it right now, if you want to watch all of Lower Decks, I'd go ahead and stop this video. That said, if you're ready, well, let's get started.
Not too long ago, I got a promotion I didn't want. I tried to get demoted, but my commander won't do it.
You must hate Starfleet.
That's the thing, I don't.
One of the things I love about being classically trained in film is noticing something that isn't meant to be noticed. Every line, every word said in a show or movie should, if you're a good writer, have value and weight. It adds to the overall work, and in this case, this interaction is so small you'd miss it, but it adds so much. Mariner is discussing how she is somewhere she doesn't want to be, and the Klingon responds that she must hate where she works. Now, if this Klingon were a human, this might just be intuition, but I'd argue he says that because of his Klingon heritage. He observes that she is in a place she doesn't want to be, that there is no honor in it. He thinks she hates Starfleet because she isn't fulfilling her destiny. Or to put it another way, she is not living the way of a Klingon. She currently doesn't have honor.
Back at the academy, my dream was to be a captain. I modeled myself after this perfect friend. Sito was everything I wanted to be and was stationed on the Enterprise.
The Enterprise? I have heard tales of its triumphs.
Oh yeah, so did she. And it got her murdered by Cardassians.
And here, dear lore master, is where we begin to see the divide. Mariner talks about her friend, and when the Klingon hears the name Enterprise, this engages him. He remembers the glories of the vessel. But I will note something here. Whether on purpose or not, he doesn't state how glorious the vessel was in combat. We'll come back to that in a moment though. It also shows the myopic view of Mariner and the eagle-eye view of the Klingon. He sees the sum total of the vessel, everything that it did, what it brought. She's only focused on her friend.
She wanted to explore, It destroyed me. Then, before I knew it, the Borta, the Jem'Hadar...
The Jem'Hadar? You fought the Dominion? Ah, the shapeshifters sent many warriors to Stovallkor. I wish I could have seen it.
No, you do not. There was no honor, just massacres.
But in the end, you were victorious.
Starfleet is supposed to be about puzzling together the mysteries of life, not fighting wars.
This part of the scene, I think, is the second most important interaction. While you could remove some of the other parts, and the scene would be weaker for it, it could still stand. But not this segment. This shows the divide between both of these people. The Klingon is a warrior. While I'll argue not all Klingons fit this mold, the majority definitively do. He sees the Dominion as an ominous, unyielding threat, and the Klingon Federation Alliance stood up to that. Stood up to evil, and brought them down. Let me be clear. This is peak Star Trek from a Klingon perspective. This is what Klingons should be. He is a warrior by choice. Mariner is a warrior by circumstance. And towards the end here, he sees that. And after seeing that, what he does next is where Lower Decks fixes the Klingons.
I don't want to be a general. I don't want to send my friends off to die. I just want to be an ensign. If it was good enough for Sito, then it's good enough for me.
Sito was a warrior. You do not honor her.
You didn't know her!
Do you follow every order from your commanders?
No!
Sito made her choice. You want to solve puzzles and mysteries? Your friend gave her life to protect that. She would not approve of your actions.
You're right.
Before I go further, it is important to realize something. This is what most fans miss in the entire scene. Ultimately, let's look at what the Klingon really knows about Sito. He knows that she was a spy. Now, most spies are considered dishonorable to Klingons. Not all spies. You can be honorable, we'll get into it in a second, but most. She was slaughtered. That's not a heroic way to go. When someone is slaughtered, you don't really think of them fighting gallantly on a hill, killing millions of Cardassians. But she did do some things. She stood by her convictions. She made a choice, and she died for others. This is what inspires the Klingon, this man who obviously reveres honor. You see, he believes her to be a warrior, even though she was not definitionally one. She sits in honor, and I'd bet money he would say that she is probably laughing it up in Sto-vo-kor, that she is having a grand old time with every one of those Klingons that died in the Dominion War he was talking about before. She is someone to be respected. And Mariner is not. We have seen Mariner save the crew of the Cerritos many times. She has fought Klingons and others and win, but really, at the end of the day, Mariner's a coward. She would have no right, at least at this moment, to be drinking blood wine with her friend. She runs from her problems. She hides from them. She dishonors Sito and herself. And the Klingon sees that. Because honor isn't always at the end of a bat'leth. It's making a choice. It's standing by your convictions. It's being true to yourself. Sometimes you win great battles. Sometimes you die alone in an escape pod. But at the end of the day, you die a warrior in each scenario. And that is what it means to be a Klingon.
She'd say I'm acting like an idiot. A Benach. Okay, but Starfleet could do better. I'm not wrong to call out bullshit when I see it.
Vaj Duj Dachich. Honor your friend, slay your enemies, and study your, what is it, plants?
Yeah, sometimes it's plants.
And here we are. What does he tell her to do? Well, to slay her enemies, yes, Klingon's got a Klingon, but also to be a scientist. He doesn't say she has to go kill millions of Cardassians. He tells her to stand by her convictions and do what she wants to do. Because that's how you're honorable. That's how you get into Sto-vo-kor. I have to be honest. People who say Lower Decks isn't real Star Trek just come off as NPCs to me. They come off as fandom menace holdouts that can't let go of the past. There is no way to me that someone could watch this scene and not get the same feelings that they got when they first saw the original series movies, or TNG, or DS9, or anything else. Klingons are going to do crazy things, get drunk and take Federation shuttles to bad parts of a planet. Yeah, that happened. But they also understand what honor is. I can only hope that every other series that is currently being made is taking notes. Lower Decks is peak Star Trek for the disco era. And I wish more people would see that. If you haven't watched Lower Decks, please give it a try. Yes, it's a cartoon. Yes, they have jokes. Yes, it's adult comedy. but there is a lot of Star Trek there. You will get the same feel from the original series. You will get the same feel from The Next Generation. You will get the same feel from Deep Space Nine. And even Voyager and Enterprise are there too. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose?